The room falls silent. Senator Richard Blumenthal leans forward. His voice cuts through the chamber like a blade. Why did you keep this memo secret? The question hangs in the air. ICE Acting Director Patrick Lechleitner shifts in his seat. Cameras flash. Pens freeze mid-note. Something is about to break. The hearing room is packed. Senators sit in tiered rows behind polished wood. Lechleitner sits alone at the witness table. A microphone, a glass of water, a nameplate. Behind him, rows of federal agents in suits. In the gallery, advocates clutch photos of separated families. Reporters lean forward, hungry. This is not a routine oversight hearing. This is a reckoning. The marble walls have seen scandals before. Pentagon Papers, Watergate, Iran-Contra. Today, they bear witness to something different. A fight over what America owes its own people, and what it hides from them. Blumenthal's eyes never leave Lechleitner. Let me be very clear, the senator says. His Connecticut accent softens the edges, but the words land hard. ICE issued an internal memo, a directive, changing warrant policy. Pause. A policy that directly affects American citizens. Another pause. And you never told Congress. The director's jaw tightens. Senator, Yes or no, Director, did you keep this memo from Congress? Silence. 3 seconds. 5 seconds. The kind of silence that becomes evidence. To understand what's at stake, we need to go back. 2023. The border crisis deepens. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, operates in the shadows of American law enforcement, tasked with interior enforcement, deportations, workplace raids, detentions. For decades, ICE operated under a bedrock principle. A judge signs an order. ICE knocks on a door. Constitutional protections apply. But something changed. Quietly, without fanfare, without congressional notification. ICE began issuing administrative warrants, internal documents signed not by judges, but by ICE's own officials. No judicial oversight, no constitutional review, just an agency policing itself. Civil liberties groups sounded alarms. Immigration attorneys filed lawsuits, but most Americans never knew, until today. Blumenthal reaches beneath his desk. He pulls out a manila folder, holds it up like evidence at trial. This memo, he says, dated November 2024. The camera zooms. We see the header, "This memo instructs ICE field offices to expand the use of administrative warrants." He opens it. Pages flutter. It specifically tells agents they can enter homes, American homes, without a judge's signature. He looks up. Who authorized this? Lechleitner's hands clasp together. Senator, that memo was an internal operational guideline that affects the Fourth Amendment rights of U.S. citizens, Blumenthal interrupts. The folder slaps down on the desk. The sound echoes. Blumenthal isn't done. He produces a second document, then a third, each one peeling back another layer. A legal opinion from ICE's own counsel warning that administrative warrants may not hold up in court. An internal email chain showing officials debating whether to notify Congress. The decision? Let's hold off for now. Case files. Real people. Maria Gonzalez, a U.S. citizen in Texas, detained for 6 hours after ICE entered her home on an administrative warrant. James Chen, a green card holder in California, pulled from his daughter's school pickup line. 12 similar cases. All Americans or legal residents. All detained under warrants, never reviewed by a judge. Blumenthal's voice rises. Director, how many American citizens have been detained under these warrants? Lechleitner hesitates. I don't have that data in front of me, Senator. You don't have it, or you won't share it? The question lands like an accusation. The room holds its breath. Lechleitner looks down at his prepared statement. The pages seem suddenly useless. He looks up at the senators, then back at Blumenthal. Senator, The memo was operational. His voice is quieter now. We believed we had the authority. Blumenthal leans back. Believed. Past tense. He lets that sit. In the gallery, a woman wipes her eyes. She holds a photo of her son, a citizen, detained for 3 days. A reporter in the back row types furiously. This is the moment. The admission that isn't quite an admission. The silence that screams guilt. Cut to the stories. Rosa Martinez, 34, born in Cook County. ICE agents arrived at dawn. No judicial warrant. They said they were looking for her brother. She asked to see paperwork. They showed her an administrative warrant with her brother's name. She was handcuffed in front of her children, held for 11 hours, released with an apology. No charges, no record. But the children still wake up screaming. David Nguyen, 47, a naturalized citizen, a landscaping business owner. ICE raided his crew at a job site. Administrative warrants for 3 workers. David showed his passport. They detained him anyway, for verification. 4 days in detention. Lost contracts. Lost trust. His business never recovered. Families torn apart at apartment complexes. Neighbors afraid to answer doors. Schools reporting drops in attendance. Children of mixed-status families living in fear. The policy, critics say, has created a climate of terror, even for those with nothing to fear legally, because when the knock comes, you don't know if the warrant is real, or who signed it, or if you'll see your family again. Back in the hearing room, Senator Alex Padilla leans into his microphone. Director, help me understand the legal theory here. Leckleitner straightens. Senator, ICE has long had the authority to issue administrative warrants under 8 U.S.C. Section 1357 for immigration violations, Padilla interrupts, not for entering homes without probable cause reviewed by a neutral magistrate. Leckleitner nods slowly. We've consulted with counsel, the same counsel whose memo warned this might be unconstitutional, Padilla asks. The director pauses. We believe our interpretation is sound. Senator Ted Cruz jumps in. Mr. Chairman, if I may, he addresses Leckleitner directly. Director, do you believe ICE should be hamstrung by bureaucratic delays when dangerous individuals are at large? The room shifts. This is the counter-narrative, the security argument. Senator, we are tasked with public safety, Leckleitner says, voice steadier now. And judicial warrants take time. Cruz nods. Exactly. So this policy allows you to act quickly. Blumenthal cuts back in. Quickly, Senator Cruz, but constitutionally? The chamber divides. You can feel it. Republicans nodding at Cruz, Democrats shaking their heads. The American divide, playing out in real time. Safety versus liberty. Security versus rights. Speed versus justice. Within hours, the hearing clips spread. Twitter explodes. Hashtag secret memo trends nationally. Conservative outlets frame it as necessary enforcement. ICE does its job while Democrats complain. Progressive media calls it constitutional crisis. Shadow deportation force operates without oversight. Civil rights groups file emergency motions. The ACLU, MALDEF, National Immigration Law Center. They demand the memo be released publicly. They demand Congress investigate. They demand accountability. Outside the Capitol, protests erupt. Signs read, "No judge, no entry." Counter-protesters arrive. "Enforce the law!" The nation, already fractured, splits further. But in the chaos, one question remains unanswered. The question Blumenthal asked at the start. Why did you keep this memo secret? If the policy was legal, if the policy was necessary, if the policy protected Americans, why hide it? 3 weeks later, the Senate Judiciary Committee votes to subpoena all ICE internal memos regarding warrant policy. The vote passes along party lines. ICE agrees to suspend the expanded use of administrative warrants, pending review. Leckleitner submits his resignation. The administration does not accept it. Maria Gonzalez files a federal lawsuit. So does David Nguyen. Legal scholars predict the cases will reach the Supreme Court. The question they'll ask, can a federal agency grant itself the power to bypass the Fourth Amendment? But beyond the courts, beyond the politics, a deeper question emerges. In a democracy, who watches the watchers? When agencies operate in secrecy, when memos change lives without public debate, when citizens don't know the rules until they're enforced, are we still a nation of laws, or a nation of bureaucrats with unchecked power? The hearing ends. Lechleitner gathers his papers. Blumenthal sits back, exhausted. The cameras keep rolling. Somewhere in America, a family hears a knock at the door. They freeze. They wonder, is it a neighbor, a delivery, or ICE with a warrant no judge ever saw? The memo may be suspended, but the fear remains. And in the marble halls of power, one folder sits on a senator's desk, marked, "The secrets we keep from ourselves are the ones that cost us most." In the end, the question wasn't whether the memo was legal, it was why they were so afraid to let us see it.